What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Share the like and sub, and let's get into this. Some of these articles, they're a little bit more fun to read than others. Can't wait for this one because this finally, some sanity returning to the timeline. I have no problem with diversity and equality and inclusion and all the fun things, but how they do it, specifically, equality of opportunity is what you want, and that's fine. But after you get over there, once you have equality of opportunity, then it's every man for themselves. But they don't want that. They want equity. They want forced outcomes, and you can't do that. And the way they do it is illegal. We've been saying that the way they cast and the way they try to make things even is anything but, and it's illegal. And thankfully now, some return to sanity, the Supreme Court has agreed that yes, in fact, these initiatives are illegal. So Supreme Court unanimous 9-0 ruling challenges Disney's DEI initiatives, sparking concerns amongst diversity advocates. The U.S. Supreme Court has unanimously ruled that discrimination lawsuits can be filed over job transfers that cause minimal harm. This groundbreaking decision, which strengthens employees' rights to sue for discrimination based on skin color or sex, has many on the far left worried about the implications for diversity programs. And where have we heard, by the way, people being fired specifically because of their white skin color or their male genitalia? The ruling, which allows St. Louis police sergeant to sue over an allegedly discriminatory job transfer, sets a precedent for legal action against employers who engage in discrimination against white people in hiring, work assignments, and promotions. The decision has far-reaching implications for companies like Disney, which have implemented diversity-preferred job postings, passed over white employees for promotions, and conducted discriminatory job transfers and diversity training programs. In a big win for authentic equality and a resounding death knell for the DEI jihad against white citizens, the Supreme Court passes landmark 9-0 ruling. Yeah, and thank God for that. Some sanity. While the case revolves around 6 discriminations against a woman, the Supreme Court ruling's potential impact on DEI programs has drawn attention. Critics argue that the decision could open the door to lawsuits challenging diversity programs that are perceived as discriminatory against white people or men, such as mentoring or leadership programs that exclude non-minority groups. Well, and we certainly see that, and certainly no white people basically in safe spaces. Disney in particular has come under scrutiny for its alleged pale and male is stale policy. Well, and I should have you know that's not just Disney, that is almost across the board in Hollywood, and it's male and pale is stale is the saying, but which has reportedly been used to drive out white animators by assigning them the worst projects despite their extensive experience, skills, and seniority, making their jobs so humiliating that they feel compelled to quit. And yes, again, we saw that thanks to Film Threat, Alan Ng and Chris Gore covering the D files and all those emails they got from people from Disney Animation, all that. Yes, Jennifer Lee used Me Too to oust Jonathan Lasseter, came in, replaced basically everyone she could with some of her cabal, and then the remaining veterans that she couldn't get rid of, she did this. An institution of fear, a climate of fear, until they eventually felt compelled to quit, giving them increasingly harder and harder projects with the smaller deadline. Yeah, it's very insidious, and it's unfortunately a pattern that we have seen and a tactic that we have seen across the board in many studios and divisions. Some companies like Disney have argued that there is a distinction between good discrimination and bad discrimination, suggesting that white people should be intentionally disadvantaged to promote diversity. And by the way, that is the just had this conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and yes, he's highly melanated, so it was a good one. But he basically was sort of okay with a lot of the DEI just because it got more black people in it. And I was trying to explain, I was like, but it's getting them into corrupted movies that then don't end up doing financially well. They're pandering at best, and the writing is never on par. It's like, are you all right with that? Then what about the people that they beat out for Meritocracy? Are you all right with discrimination? Do you think this, and that's where it goes to the Abram X Kennedy of, do you agree with his statement that the only solution for past discrimination is current and ongoing discrimination? Because that's certainly a tactic that many of these far left individuals think. I don't think that. Yeah. I think that's the bad way to get ahead. I think all you're doing here is regressing everything if by discriminating to make up for discrimination. It's just, you can't put out fire with more fire. It just doesn't work that way. We need to go back to meritocracy. And yeah, anyway, this is where, of course, where they got into the whole thing of bad and good discrimination. The Supreme Court also established a relatively low threshold for bringing discrimination cases, stating that an employee need only demonstrate some harm under the terms of their employment, and that this harm does not have to be material, substantial, or serious. This decision significantly reduces the barriers for workers seeking to take legal action against discriminatory practices. Employment lawyers express concern that the Supreme Court has set a relatively low threshold for the level of harm an employee needs to alleged to have for grounds of discrimination suits. These developments could affect Disney's diversity initiatives, and again, all the studio's diversity initiatives, as they may now have to tread more cautiously to avoid potential legal challenges. Yeah, the ruling comes at the heightened scrutiny of DEI programs following the Supreme Court's decision to overturn affirmative action, which that's basically all these DEI things are, in college admissions last year. Conservative legal groups have refocused their attention on Disney and other corporations, go look at Amazon, arguing that some initiatives meant to benefit marginalized groups amount to reverse discrimination. Now, the thing is reverse racism or reverse discrimination. There is only racism and discrimination. And in this case, yes, it is discrimination. It's crucial to recognize that the Supreme Court's decision to it's crucial to recognize that the Supreme Court decision is centered on expanding employees' rights to sue over discrimination based on skin color or sex, rather than undermining DEI initiatives. However, Legal Defense Fund Senior Economic Justice Counsel Pilar Whitaker acknowledged that opponents of DEI programs may see the ruling as an opening to challenge such programs and institutions like Disney. Well, and it just comes right down to how they are put into effect. There's like, it really is, because it's like, okay, you want to have more Black people, or you want to have more gay people, or you want to have more whatever underrepresented group you think. But then if there's someone more qualified and you specifically don't hire them, not because they aren't qualified, but because of their skin color, it's very noble. It's because you're trying to help another group, but then you can't punish that group. You can't discriminate against them because they're sorry. I know you want more Black people, but if the person that's more qualified is white, you have to go with the more qualified one. That's how it works. That's how, as a society, we've gotten better, by constantly doing the best person for the job. I don't give a fuck what color or gender they are. That really is what it is. And yeah, just illegal enforcing them like that. As companies like Disney grapple with the implications of this landmark ruling, they will need to carefully reevaluate their DEI strategies to ensure compliance with the law and to foster a genuinely inclusive workplace culture. The Supreme Court's decision serves as a powerful reminder that the path of diversity and inclusion must be paved with fairness, equality, and respect for all individuals. Great way to end it. Yeah. Not the end of this by any means. We also have to look at that wrongful termination from Gina coming out, that of course is not based on gender or sex, but well, not in this regard, but it is based on sex. It's based on Disney and how they treat their male employees versus their female employees. But really, I would say they're politically left employees versus their politically right employees. But either way, we'll see about that. This is a great step in the right direction. So we'll see. Let me know what you think of this. Make sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you.
Well, bye.